Welcome back, my dear students. Have you ever wondered how a lion's deadly claws, a deer's majestic antlers, and your own nails all share a common evolutionary origin? Or why a whale's baleen, a pangolin's scale, and a porcupine's quills are all parts of the same amazing story? In today's fascinating class, we will uncover the secrets of various amazing exoskeleton derivatives in mammals, those remarkable external structures formed by the skin that help in protection, display, feeding, and survival. We will explore their types, origins, and functions from hair and horns to claws and cladocities and see how evolution has shaped them for life and land in water or even in the air. This class will help you master important exam points, perfect for building both your concept and your memory power. So grab your notebook, hit the like button, and let's explore the amazing outer world of mammals. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome biology concepts. What is an exoskeleton? An exoskeleton is an outer skeleton that supports and protects an animal's body. In insects and crabs, it's a hard shell. In mammals, there is no true hard shell. Instead, the skin makes protective structures like hair, nails, and horns. The integument or the skin is basically a composite organ. It has several parts. It makes up about 15% of your total body weight. The skin has three major parts. Epidermis is the outer layer, basement membrane is the thin layer in between epidermis and dermis is the inner layer. So and below the epidermis layer there is a hypodermis which is fat and connective tissue. What are the main layers of mammalian skin? Like the other vertebrates, mammals have two main skin layers like epidermis and dermis. These two layers are connected by basement membrane. Epidermis. What is the dermis does? The epidermis makes hair, nail and skin glands. It protects the body and stops germs for entering. Cells of the epidermis. The main cells of the epidermis are the keratinocytes. These cells produce keratin which makes the outer layer tough and waterproof. How the epidermis renews itself. Now new cells formed in the stratum basal, that is the deepest layer of the epidermis. These cells divide and move upwards. As they move up, they become flat and filled with keratin. This is called keratinization. Layers of the epidermis from deep to surface. Stratum basal is the deepest where new cells form. Stratum spinosum, there is stratum granulosum, stratum lucidum, and ultimately stratum corneum is the outermost and dead cells full of keratin. Special areas, keratinization is strongest where skin is thick like on the soles of the feet. Keratinization and special epidermal cells where keratinization is strongest. The process of keratinization is most noticeable in parts of the body where the skin is thickest, like the soles of the feet. Keratinocytes are the main cells of the epidermis. They make keratin which protects the skin and makes it tough. Other special cells in the epidermis, Langerhans cells, these are star-shaped or stellate cells found in the upper part of the stratum spinosum. They help the immune system fight germs by supporting cell-mediated immunity. Merkel cells, these come from the neural crest cells. They connect with sensory nerves and help the skin respond to touch and pressure. Chromatophores, these also come from embryonic neural crest cells. They make melanin, a dark pigment. Melanin granules are passed to the surrounding skin cells. This is the layer of epidermis and the dead keratinocytes layer on the stratum corneum. How skin gets its color? Skin color is a mix of the yellow color from the stratum corneum, red color from blood vessels underneath, and dark pigment from the chromatophores or in the keratin. Uh, Dermis, it is the lower than epidermis. It is the support layer. Layers of the dermis include papillary layer and reticular layer. Papillary layer pushes up tiny finger-like projections called dermal papilla into the epidermis. This makes your fingerprints. Reticular layer, this deeper layer has irregularly arranged fibers connective tissue, blood vessels, nerves and smooth muscles. These parts stay inside the dermis and do not reach the outer epidermis. Special functions of the dermis. The mammalian dermis can make dermal bones, but in mammals these mainly help from the skull and shoulder bones or pectoral girdle. Rarely, dermal bones may form dermal scales in the skin like in armadillos. Connections and structures, blood vessels and nerves from the dermis reach up to the epidermis. Hair follicles and skin glands grow downward from the epidermis into the dermis layer. Elasticity of the dermis is made up of tough, irregular connective tissue filled with elastic fibers. These fibers allow the skin to stretch and return to its shape. As people get older, these elastic fibers break down. This causes skin to sag and wrinkle. Hair in mammals. Now we'll explore the hair in mammals. Hair is slender keratinous filament made up of keratin. Hair helps protect the body, senses the environment, and in some animals defend against enemies. Parts of hair: root, the base part inside the skin. Shaft is the long part that sticks out above the skin surface. The shaft has three main parts. Cuticle is the outer layer, cortex is the middle layer, and medulla is the central core. Where hair grows? Hair grows from a hair follicle which is made by the epidermis but rooted deep in the dermis. The base of the follicle has a small bump of dermis called the hair papilla which supplies nutrients. This is the science of hair, growth of human hair, skin anatomy, how hair gets its color. Chromatophore in the follicle add pigment granules to the hair shaft, giving hair its color. Arrector pili muscle. Each hair follicle has a tiny smooth muscle called the arrector pili. This muscle pulls the hair upright when you feel cold, scared or angry. This is what causes goosebump. Special types of hair. Vibrissae or whiskers, special long hairs found around the snouts of many mammals. They are very sensitive because nerves connect to their roots, common in nocturnal animals or animals that live in burrows with little light. Quills of porcupines. These are stiff, coarse hairs. They are specially adapted to defend the animal from various predators. Now we will study glands in mammals. Main types of glands. Mammals have basically two kinds of glands: sebaceous glands and sweat glands. Scent glands and mammary glands are special forms of derivative from these sebaceous and sweat glands. Sebaceous glands, this is the image showing the sebaceous gland. It make an oily substance called sebum. It is released into hair follicles. It conditions hair and makes fur waterproof. Where they are found, not found on the palms of the hand or sole of the feet. They are present without hair at places like corners of the mouth, penis, near the vagina, next to the nipples. Special sebaceous glands, wax glands of the outer ear make ear ox or cerumen. Meibomian glands in the eyelids produce an oily film to protect the eye surface. Sweat glands. Sweat glands makes perspiration or sweat which helps cool the body. Type of sweat glands, there are basically two types based on thickness of sweat: thin or viscous, linked with hair follicles when they become active before or after puberty. Type 1, thin sweat glands, they produce watery sweat, not linked to hair follicles, start working before puberty. Their main job is to regulate body temperature. Type 2, viscous sweat glands, produce thicker sweat linked to hair follicles. They start working at puberty and cause bad odor. Where sweat glands are found. Not all mammals have sweat glands. Chimpanzee and humans have many sweat glands even on palms and soles. Duckbill platypus has sweat glands only on the snout. Deer has mainly at the base of their tail. Elephants no sweat or sebaceous glands at all. Scent glands, what they do? Scent glands come from sweat glands. They produce strong smelling secretions for communication. They use marking territory and identifying individual signaling during courtship. This is the image of a civet, and they are also called as Gandho Gokul due to presence of scent glands in their body. Mammary glands, what they do? Mammary glands also evolved from sweat glands or maybe sebaceous glands. They are functional only in females. They make milk, a watery film, mix of fats, proteins and sugars to feed the young. The release of milk is called lactation. Structure of mammary glands, it make up many lobules. Each lobule has clusters of secretory alveoli that make milk. Alveoli open into ducts which lead to the nipple. The nipple is surrounded by pigmented area called areola. The ducts join into a cistern inside the teeth or a collar of skin. Breast. Adipose tissue or fats build up mammary glands to form breast at sexual maturity. Special case are monotremes. In monotremes like the platypus, there is no nipples or teats. Milk comes out onto a flat milk patch on or areola on the skin. The baby's snout fits over this area for sucking. Nails, claws and hooves. Nails, claws and hooves are hard structures by the keratinizing system of the skin. They are all made up of tightly packed cornified or hardened epithelial cells from the keratin. This is the image showing nails. Now they are flat on the tops of the fingers and toes. New nails material moves from the nail matrix at the base. This nail pushes the old nail forward, replacing parts that get worn out or broken. Function: protect the sensitive tips of the fingers and toes from injury, help stabilize the skin at the tips so the other side can grip objects firmly. Where found, only primates have true nails. This is the epidermal derivatives: nail, claw and hoof. Claws are basically curved, pointed, and literally compressed keratinous projections at the tip of the digits. They are most common in mammals, and even some they are help in catch prey, dig, climb, and defend themselves. Hooves are large, thick keratinous plates covering the tips of the toes. This is the odd-toed ungulates in case found in case of horse, and even-toed ungulates are the cow. The found in ungulates are hoofed mammals like horses, cows, deer, goats, and sheep. They support body weight, help with running and walking, and protect the ends of the limbs. This image showing examples of hoofed mammals, also known as ungulates. It is divided into two main groups. Even-toed ungulates, animal bearing weight on two of their toes, includes Bactrian camel, American bison, common water hog, African buffalo, hippopotamus, zebu, cheetal, reindeer, European fallow deer, vacuna, black wild beast, guanaco, markhor, elk, water buffalo, springbok, moose, and bighorn sheep. Odd-toed ungulates are perissodactyls. Animals bearing weights primarily on one or three toes includes Gravy's zebra, black rhinoceros, African wild ass, white rhinoceros, onager, and Malaysian tapir. Horns and antlers. Only mammals have true horns or antlers. Other animals may have structures that look like horns or horned lizards, but there is just specialized pointed scales, not true horns. Bone or skin work together. Both horns and antlers are made up of the underlying bone and the skin. The bone grows outward, carrying the skin with it. Horns. In true horns, the skin forms a hard, cornified keratinized sheath that covers a bony core. True horns are found in the bovid family or bovidae. Example: cattle, sheep, goats, antelope, bison. Features: horns are usually found in both males and females. They are not branched. They are kept all year round and keep growing throughout life. A true horn has a bony coat covered by a tough keratin sheath. Pronghorn or Antilocapridae. The pronghorn's horn is forked or split in adult males, different from other true horns. Rhinoceros horn. A rhinoceros horn is different. It has no bony core. It is made up of only compacted keratin fibers, so it's fully a product of the skin or integument. Each animal's horns vary in size, shape, and curvature, illustrating the diversity of horn structures among mammals. The first image is showing a collage showing different animals with horns labeled for identifications. It includes top row has African buffalo, alpine ibex, and kudu. Middle row includes cattle, mouflon, and water buffalo. Bottom rows are markhor, gamslock, and bighorn sheep. The antlers vary greatly in size and branching pattern and curvature, showcasing the diversity within the deer family or Cervidae. The second image is a collage of various animals with antlers labeled for easy identification. It features top row caribou or reindeer, elk, mule deer, or middle row roe deer, moose, sambar. Bottom row white-tailed deer, red brocket, or fallow deer. Antlers. In antlers, the growing bone is covered by living skin called velvet. The velvet supplies blood and nutrients to the bone as it grows. Once the antler is fully formed, the velvet dries and falls off, leaving behind the hard, bare bone. True antlers are found only in the deer family Cervidae. Example, deer, elk, moose. Usually only males have antlers with a few exceptions. Features. Antlers are branched and set and regrown every year. Example, in order there is a main beam with shorter branches growing from it. Antler growth is controlled by hormones. In spring, longer days cause the pituitary gland to release hormones. New antlers start growing. Growing antlers are covered by velvet. In fall, hormones from the testes stop the pituitary. The velvet dries up and falls off. Bear's antlers remain. Baleen. Baleen is basically a filter feeding system found in the mouths of baleen whales. It is a skin derivative made up of keratin, the same protein found in human hair and nails. Baleen looks like stiff bristles and is in plates along the whale's upper jaw. Baleen was once commonly used by humans and called whale bone. It is not the same as the actual bone of a whale. Real whale bones were used for things like carvings, cutlery handles, and as substitute for ivory. Baleen is basically a special comb-like keratin structure that lets whales filter tiny sea creatures from ocean water. It's another example of how the skin produces amazing structures to help animals survive and feed. Feeding method: the whole whale opens its mouth underwater and takes a huge gulp of water, full of some animals like krill. It then pushes the water out through the baleen plates. Tiny animals get trapped by the baleen bristles and stay inside the mouth to be swallowed. Variation among the whales. Some whales like bowhead whale have very long baleen plates. Others like the grey whale sometimes feed using only one side of their baleen. The image showing the structure of baleen in the whale, and how do baleen whales filter food with the help of the whale. This the figure is showing that. So what we have learned today: exoskeleton derivatives in mammals are special structures formed from the skin such as hair, nails, claws, hooves, horns, antlers, scales, quills, and callosities. They severe important functions like protection, temperature regulation, defense, sensory perception, and even display during courtship. These features are excellent examples of how evolution adapts external body parts for survival in different environments. If this class helped you, like, share, and subscribe for more easy biology lessons. Keep observing nature's designs, keep revising, stay curious. See you in the next class. Thank you.